Luc Montagnier's experiments on water memory, conducted in collaboration with Italian physicist Emilio Del Giudice and others, were highly controversial and not widely accepted by the scientific community. The experiments were based on the idea that water could retain an electromagnetic memory of DNA sequences, even after the physical DNA molecules were removed through extreme dilution. Below is a detailed description of the experimental setup and claims, based on Montagnier's publications and presentations. Experimental setup and procedure. DNA sample preparation. A sample of DNA, e.g., from a bacterial or viral source, was diluted in water. The solution was then subjected to a series of serial dilutions, where the DNA concentration was reduced to the point where no physical DNA molecules were expected to remain, based on Avogadro's number. Filtration and agitation. The diluted solution was filtered to remove any remaining DNA fragments. The solution was then agitated, shaken vigorously, to supposedly enhance the memory effect, a step reminiscent of homeopathic practices. Detection of electromagnetic signals. Montagnier claimed that the diluted water emitted low-frequency electromagnetic (EM) signals, which he detected using a device designed to measure electromagnetic fields. These signals were described as being specific to the original DNA sequence, even though no physical DNA was present in the solution. Recording and transmission. The electromagnetic signals were recorded digitally and transmitted electronically to another location. In some experiments, the signals were sent to a distant lab, where they were used to reconstruct the original DNA sequence. Reconstruction of DNA. In the receiving lab, the recorded EM signals were played back into a tube of pure water. Montagnier claimed that this water, now imprinted with the EM signals, could be used as a template for PCR, polymerase chain reaction, to recreate the original DNA sequence. The reconstructed DNA was then sequenced and compared to the original DNA to verify its identity. Role of Emilio Del Giudice. Emilio Del Giudice, an Italian theoretical physicist, collaborated with Montagnier to provide a theoretical framework for these experiments. Del Giudice was known for his work on quantum field theory and the idea that water molecules could form coherent domains capable of storing information. His contributions included theoretical basis. Del Giudice proposed that water molecules could organize themselves into coherent domains, quantum coherent states, that could store and transmit electromagnetic information. Explanation of memory effect. He suggested that the electromagnetic signals detected by Montagnier were the result of these coherent domains preserving the memory of the original DNA. Claims and results. Montagnier and Del Giudice made several extraordinary claims based on these experiments. Water memory. They claimed that water could retain an electromagnetic imprint of DNA, even after extreme dilution. DNA teleportation. They suggested that DNA information could be transmitted electronically and reconstructed in a distant location, a process they referred to as DNA teleportation. Biological implications. They argued that this phenomenon could have implications for understanding disease transmission, the role of electromagnetic fields in biology, and the mechanisms of homeopathy. Criticism and controversy. The experiments and claims of Montagnier and Del Giudice have been met with significant skepticism and criticism. Lack of reproducibility. Other researchers have been unable to reproduce Montagnier's results under controlled conditions. Reproducibility is a fundamental requirement for scientific validity. Methodological flaws. Critics have pointed out issues with the experimental design, including the lack of proper controls, potential contamination, and the subjective interpretation of electromagnetic signals. Contradiction with known science. The idea that water can retain a memory of DNA contradicts well-established principles of chemistry and physics. Water molecules are highly dynamic and do not form stable structures capable of storing complex information. Pseudoscientific overtones. The experiments have been criticized for their resemblance to homeopathy, a practice widely regarded as pseudoscience due to the lack of credible evidence. Conclusion. While Montagnier and Del Giudice's experiments on water memory and DNA teleportation were intriguing to some, they have not been validated by the broader scientific community. The claims remain highly controversial and are generally dismissed due to the lack of reproducible evidence and the absence of a plausible mechanism consistent with known physical laws. The experiments are often cited as an example of how even Nobel Prize-winning scientists can venture into pseudoscientific territory when they depart from rigorous scientific methodology.